Let's call them up. What is up?
Please be seated.
Yes, Doc.
Well, you could just pick it up. Somebody last night kept picking it up by the stand, and I was trying not to say, hey, you could just take that off the stand. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for showing up.
You're welcome.
Faithful survivors.
So, I try to always ask questions that have never been asked before, but at the same time, you can't do that. It's really tough, right? Two of you are going to share your best Mel Brooks story with me, and go ahead and get started. Which two of you would that be?
That would be me. So it was all set for Craig Bierko to play the part.
Hold on, say it one more time.
It was all set for Craig Bierko to play Jonathan
Harker.
That's it. Read the book, of course. I didn't just see the movie. And I said, have you met Steve Weber? And then they started their long, long romance together. You're welcome, Steve.
Thanks.
The question marks was.
I mean, that is pretty awesome, though.
Well, first of all, it was a dream come true. I idolized Mel Brooks as a kid, and then when we finally got to work with him, Amy and I especially were always in awe of him daily. Steve, please work me into every story.
Every time you say Daly, take it through.
And he was, I don't have any specific stories because he was perpetually great to work with and work for and look at and observe. And also he was also human. There were days when he wasn't the funniest
So
man on earth.
frustrating. He got so mad at me.
He could yell like a director could yell. He could, so he showed his humanity, but he never lost his appeal to us.
No, exactly.
Fantastic.
But when the one time, because all through the first movie I did with him, apparently I was perfect and he loved me. And then the second one, which he asked me to do, and I was like, yeah, I think so. I was at the soup plantation with my agent. I was like, oh, Mel Brooks again, yay. And it's like, there's dancing, but they have professional dancers that are gonna double for you, except for the part where we're going to make a cast of your body, hang you from a thing. Do you know what a green screen is? I'm like, what's happening? Robin Hood, I didn't have to do that. But I met the dancers, and if you remember, you can tell in the movie when it's.
You're gonna give our sign language interpreter a hernia if you don't.
She's fine.
Okay.
No, she's good. Watch
Oh,
this.
there's hernia.
Hi!
She's a pro.
Hernia?
And then Mel Brooks
Okay,
said,
and one more time.
"Oi."
Hernia.
There you go. Now everybody, hernia.
Tim will get to you. And
He's on wings.
I know.
I have a question.
1 second. So there was a part where it had to be me, and Dracula has Leslie, and I have to roll down his arm and look at him. I did it 14 times, and finally, God damn it! You used to be so graceful. I'm like, when? And he got up and he did it, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I was like, we're rolling. Let's use you, old man, instead. And then he apologized to me. But other than that, because I'm a klutz, every second was one of those things like, I can't believe this is happening, I can't believe this is happening. Trying to like be clear and in the moment, which I didn't know was a thing at the time. Wait, I'm being in the moment right now. I've learned my lesson. Mel Brooks remains an absolute god to me.
Thank you.
I love him. So Tim, were you up for any Mel Brooks?
That's okay. I have a specific question for
The
Tim.
Elephant Man.
I was trying so hard, but I can't. I have to go. The Sopranos. Can you talk a little bit about it? You guys will have all the wings questions you want here in a minute. Just give me this 1 second. You're lucky I didn't go into Dario Argento's and Steve.
Well, yeah, I was in The Sopranos, and they beat the shit out of me with everything you can imagine. Pardon my French. I'm trying to learn it. It was funny because David Chase was a friend of mine because I did the first series that he created, a show called Almost Grown, which was sort of like an actor's dream because I got to play between age 18 and 40, and there were cars and makeup, and it was on CBS, and they're like, what the hell is this? And this is, like pre-HBO and all that stuff. Anyway, so David always liked me, and he would call me up every year and say, you gotta come be on The Sopranos. I would say, great, when? He would say, never mind, the part's not good enough. And finally, he wrote this part for me, and
He wrote that for you?
yeah, and originally it was called T.J. Dolan, because he thought that my name was Timothy James Daly. My actual legal name is James Timothy Daly. So he changed the script, when they change the script, a different color page comes out. He changed the script to be J.T. Dolan, so my initials would line up. And then he had the guy living in like Paterson, New Jersey, and he knew that I grew up in Mahwah, so he changed the guy to Mahwah.
What?
And I know, so he's that kind of guy, has all this stuff in his memory banks.
Were you nominated for anything?
I was, and
For an Emmy.
but anyway.
Hernia.
I can think of other things I could get her to sign also, but I'm not going to. But it was, it's an honor to have been on one of the best TV shows ever on television.
Absolutely.
And for the three of you, when you were saying we could get other things for Michael Rosenbaum a few years ago, probably it would be hard to top as far as trying to be inappropriate for Cat. Trying to get to sign things.
Oh, yes. Okay,
We had to
I
be
hear
fun. Yeah, but it was awesome. All right, who has the first question? Who wants to be it? Yeah, no. I'm going to go with you right there. Please stand up. Yes, that's you. I'm going to pretend I don't know who you are, Mary Michael, and stand up. Never met you in my life.
Absolute plant.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here to see you all. A few things. Love your mom. I was so pumped to see my mom. That was awesome. It's one of my favorite shows next to Wings. When we were growing up, me and my sister shared a room. We had a TV, and our parents were pretty strict with our bedtime. And so we were supposed to be in bed, but instead we were watching Wings. It just went into syndication, so we would stay up and watch Wings every night.
On USA Network?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, Silk Stockings. And so, Mom, you didn't hear that. I cannot ever hear Las Cruces without thinking of Carlton.
Same.
And
Seriously,
Las Cruces,
same.
New Mexico.
Bill Hickey.
That's one of my favorite scenes. Did you all crack up filming that? Like, I don't think I could get through a minute of it.
It took us 3 times as long to film an episode when Bill Hickey was on because of Tony Shalhoub. Because every scene he had with Bill Hickey, he couldn't do it without laughing. And I would contend that if you saw those scenes with them together, that you would still see Tony go.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking about
To massage his feet.
the other day. I'm doing this new show that stars Leanne Morgan, and there's this scene in a funeral home where this guy's lying in a coffin, and I remember lying in a coffin dressed as an old man because we lost a corpse or something, and Weber would lean down and do this bad ventriloquisty, and the line was Kingsbury's out back, meaning they found the coffin. And he'd go, Kingsbury's out back. And I couldn't do it without laughing.
You were awful.
I was
The
terrible.
whole
But if you-
coffin was shaking.
But if you look at that show, you can see me dead going like.
But Bill Hickey was peculiarly hilarious. Because in real life, he was an interesting character too. He smoked probably 11 packs a day and looked it. He was like a stubbed out cigarette of a man himself, but he managed the most meager kind of Las Cruces. And if ever I've seen
Legendary
this-
acting teacher also
Yeah, that's
in
right.
New York City.
That's right. He was hilarious. And at one point, in one sequence, Tony had to massage his feet.
Oh my God.
And you've seen what Bill Hickey looks like. Well, in real life, he was even more interesting, and he had no socks on, and Tony gamely was massaging his actual feet, and it was tough. And we had to amputate his hands.
It was the only choice.
And Bill Hickey was in The Producers, back to Mel Brooks.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. He's in the bar.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, who has the next question? I saw you, and then we'll go back this way. Yes, sir.
So this is actually an episode-specific question for both Tim and Steve. From the episode Sports and Leisure. What actress married to Roger Smith sang this title song in the film Bye Bye Birdie?
Is this trivia? Dude!
Yeah,
Say
thank you.
Margaret?
I just wanted to hear you
Speaking
guys.
of
Here's a little more trivia.
Oh, I can't.
I did this. This is kind of crazy. I did this miniseries called Queen. Anne Margaret and Martin Sheen played my parents, and Halle Berry played my daughter.
Wait, what's happening?
Isn't that crazy?
Who played your
The Larry fell far from the tree.
Patty Clarkson.
Yeah.
Wow,
Thank you guys.
you are not the father.
All right, who has a question? Yes, in the back. Start with the hair.
Sir with the hair.
He knew exactly who I was talking about.
I grew it myself. I never thought I'd be able to ask Steven Weber a Star Trek question. I want to hear about your time on Deep Space Nine. And then as a follow-up, makes sense it's a Wings panel, I'd like to hear about Jonathan Frakes being on Wings.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was my boyfriend.
All right, so I'm a Trekkie or Trekker, depending upon your what world you're in, and original series. And when they were shooting, they shot Next Generation on the Paramount lot, which was amazing. And I often see people in the gym. Worf would be there working out, or you'll see, Klingons hanging outside the stage smoking cigarettes. We feel like,
It was
they're
so
worse than
fun.
bikers, like, stay away from the Klingons, is the old ripping part. But, and I asked Junie Lowry, who was the casting person, can I please be on this show? And they found this cool little role for me in, I think there was 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine, and I played a Bajoran, which is the race of creatures that have a kind of a ridge line on their nose, which I guess it's used for grating nutmeg. The universe needs, hot toddies and all that.
Not right, Talon?
Not right, Talon. Good, very good. And we just saw Shatner like wheeling past us.
Most of this crowd did too, yeah.
Always a thrill.
He was just right here.
We saw
Wow.
William Shatner whiz by us on his mobile assistance device, and Steve Weber said,
We have to know what it was called.
It's called a jazzy. And
"You
I
know
said
that,
well,
people would get that.
jazzing where no man has jazzed before.
Did he laugh?
I know, we didn't say
say
it
it
to
to
him. You know?
He went by,
Roast
Star
Shatner.
Wars? Star Wars, okay, sorry.
So,
Okay,
wait,
go.
Star Wars trivia.
Star
Who
Wars?
starred in a famous episode of the original Star Trek called Requiem for Methuselah?
Oh, wait, is it Ron Howard's little brother? You?
No, that's Clint Howard.
Close.
It's Fawn.
Your
My
your
dad, James
dad?
Daly.
Come on now.
James Daly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm
But
gonna
can I
look at
finish
it.
my damn story? It's not over.
Not with the nutmeg?
That's why we don't
Yeah, I
do
should have
wings
ended with the
too.
nutmeg. You're right. Let's end it with the nutmeg. But it was
And
great
nutmeg.
fun.
Wow.
It was
We'll
great
tighten-
fun.
We'll tighten it up
Everything
in
was made of
post.
wood. I was so like the phasers made of wood, and the Bajoran weapons wood.
You'll be fine.
I should have left on the nutmeg.
Well.
Yeah, we loved it. All right, who has
Nutmeg.
Ah!
incredibly cliche question, but the series is just known, maybe Friends, maybe a little bit more, but just known for so many wonderful guest stars. I won't be negative. Who was some of your
John
favorites?
Ritter.
Tom Daly.
Tom Daly. Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds.
That was-
Rosemary.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Bud
Cort. Bud Cort.
Oh, Gilbert.
Gilbert Godfrey.
My buddy. Gilbert.
Love that documentary.
Pat
yeah.
Hingle. I don't know if people know Pat.
Pat Hingle, yeah, and wait,
Charlie Hallahan.
No,
I mean, all these
and,
people that have been in movies for years.
Didn't you have Marion Seldes?
Marion Seldes
Seldes.
was on.
oh, I'll never forget that. Marion Seldes is a legendary stage actress,
Unreal.
and well known to those of us who spent time in New York. And I remember being on the stage, and I saw her across the way, and she looked at me, and she did this kind of dying swan, like, and she ran across the room, and she fell on her knees and took my hand and started kissing my hand. I was like, Marion, nice to meet you, but get up. Also, oh God,
Come on, old man.
Don't punch me in the knee.
Can I mention
What
John
musician-
Ratzenberger and
musician
George
that
Wendt?
piano-
Yeah, Ratzenberger.
Ratzenberger and Wendt.
I'm gonna think of it, but a very, very famous
George Kennedy?
jazz musician.
George
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah, but
Very good.
what about Paper Tiger?
Oh, George Plimpton.
George
Clint
Plimpton.
Weber,
What was
famous
he?
bowler, champion
And
bowler.
a man from Uncle.
Oh, he was a dick.
He
He was a dick, and John had worked with him.
Oh, no, Robert Cullen.
Robert
Oh,
Cullen,
I
yeah.
Spy, I Spy.
Yeah.
I was I Spy.
Yeah.
It was I Spy.
Oliver
I think
North.
I did.
You know,
Yes.
but it was, and there was so many. We were on for so long that everybody.
Ray Charles. Ray Charles.
Ray
That's
Charles
right.
was on it?
Yes, he
Crazy.
was. Ray Charles.
Aren't you glad I
I had to
asked?
have been blind to have missed him.
Nope.
But he
Good night, everybody.
I'm so sorry.
Nutmeg. Yeah, and it was a fantastic experience. Yeah, you have to understand that even what Amy said, it was always a thrill. Nobody felt like, oh, this is what we're born into. We were always
Grateful.
thrilled to go onto the Paramount lot, which has so much history. It was always, and Tim and I, before you were on the show, Amy, Tim and I would kind of walk around the lot.
Yeah.
We'd go up to this is the days we were smoking cigarettes. We'd go up to the roof to smoke cigarettes, you know, and there was so much history and so many ghosts around. There was always a thrill, and everybody was just happy to be there. Oh, we actually shot in the famous Paramount parking lot tank. Mostly
yeah.
and it's where they shot. They shoot the not 10 Commandments, but they shot a lot of Hollywood films from the 40s and 50s that required ocean sequences. And we actually shot an episode where the plane goes down, and we shot in the famous water tank.
Which was a parking lot the rest of the
Parking,
time.
that's right. So
That was
And they'd say, you're
That was
parking in the
the,
tank. I'm like, is everybody okay?
The site of one of my favorite ad-libs that didn't make it into the
Oh,
show.
that's
right. Go on.
Because it was in the middle of the night when it was freezing cold, and I'm sitting there in the water, and I guess we were still taping because it made it to the outtakes. And I said,
I say, cold there, Joe.
and I said, my nipples feel like the snaps on a Western shirt.
Didn't make the cut. Didn't make the cut. We're a very clean show.
You live it every day.
I'm living it right now.
That's excellent.
Next question. Yes, ma'am.
This is for Amy. Would you be willing to share, you mentioned John,
Yeah.
would you be willing to share about the John Ritter Foundation?
Oh, yeah. First of all, John Ritter, these guys know, johnritterfoundation.org, and it's the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health. Quickly, you know, I was married to John Ritter, who passed away in 2003 of a undiagnosed, and then sadly on the night that was most critical, misdiagnosed aortic dissection. And everybody knows about AAA, everybody's grandpa or whatever, the abdominal, but the thoracic aorta, that candy cane shaped artery, biggest one in your body, it comes out of your heart, of course, is like the super highway. Your heart can be in great shape, but if it's sending the blood into that area, you're in trouble. And a dissection is when the layers inside of it get sheared off a little bit, and then the blood goes in between the layers. It doesn't get to go all the other places it needs to go. It's very, very dangerous. Has been misdiagnosed for years and years and years. We've all heard of people. As a matter of fact, John's father, Tex Ritter. Tex Ritter, anybody? You know, Mississippi, my darling. Died of a heart attack, which they thought that's what it was, as he was bailing one of his band members out of jail in Nashville. And he was 60-something years old. And it was just because he had no autopsy, was put into that heart attack, massive heart attack is what they say. And John never realized that he was genetically in line for this. We've gone back, Ritter family, lots of people. There were no gene mutations to look for when John passed away. And then we started the foundation and the John Ritter Research Program in Aortic and Vascular Diseases, which is a genetic thing with the help of the public and all the doctors that are interested. There are 11 gene mutations to look for, and with computer learning and hopefully the NIH getting back to where it was at some point, we're gonna get a handle on this thing. John's brother, Tom Ritter, had an aortic aneurysm, which is usually what happens first, where it gets widened, but we caught it because it happened after John passed away, and we were looking for it. So johnritterfoundation.org, check it out. You can write to me on there, and thank you. It's called Thoracic Aortic Aneurysm and Dissection, TAAD. So thank you for attending my TED Talk. I didn't make that up. Did you learn anything?
I saw a hand right over there. She looked down. Okay, now she's not paying attention to me. Okay, who had the next question? It's back over here. Oh, come on, folks. please. Yeah, go ahead, you.
Okay.
And then back to me.
I was really little when Wings came out, so I watched enough to have a Titanic crush on Tim Daly.
Stay away from the stage.
Security.
So I had a question. I'm also like a big horse enthusiast, and I love westerns. And my favorite movie was The Outsider. Did you have to learn to ride for that, or did you already have horse experience, or did you use a double?
No, I actually wrote for that movie, and I had written in in Queen, the one where Anne Margaret played my mother. I wrote in that movie, and I had this beautiful horse that was a former racehorse, and it injured like 3 people on set, not me. Yeah, no, in Queen. But The Outsiders, I had this experience that some people talk about. I won't go on and on, but this horse and I like had a mind meld. This horse was spectacular. Huh? Oh, that's a technical question.
You're too polite to
Yeah,
look.
I didn't want to check. I didn't want to go under the hood.
Really chill, but like if you bond with a mare, like she's your buddy for life.
Well, I don't know if she's a buddy for life or he.
What's the
whatever it
horse's
was.
name?
I can't.
Directed the Shining miniseries, but it takes, and this is going to be a little less PG-13, but it takes balls of steel to walk into that role.
Yeah, for gelding, I guess. Steel
I don't think you're a gelding in
I don't
that.
think so.
Not yet. The night is young.
All right, Tom. It was, a great privilege to work on that project. I'd love to go back now as an older guy and address certain scenes and certain ideas that I had as a younger actor, because now I understand what it's really about.
Which ones?
Well, I mean, primarily to do with the transformation of the guy. I was all excited to play the monster part of it, and in fact worked with great special effects makeup guys, Billy Corso, who's an Oscar-winning makeup artist who did the makeup on that, and V. Neal, who's a legendary makeup person. Because it's about alcoholism, it's about addiction, and I would know how to. I'm older now, so I understand what King was going for, rather than the monster part, which was fun to play. Look, it was back in the day when they made these TV movies and miniseries, and so I was lucky to play it. Rebecca De Mornay did an amazing job, and Stephen King was around a lot. And so I was able to ask him certain things and enjoy his presence on the set, which was fun and enthusiastic, and he's everything you wanted a living author to be. And it was a great experience, I'm glad I did it.
And you shot you did it in Estes Park at the Stanley Cinema,
Shot
which
it
is
at
where it's
right.
based out. Right.
So the Stanley Hotel was where he got the inspiration to write the.
What room?
It wasn't 237. But it was definitely it was slightly haunted place, and definitely some crew members had some experiences. I moved myself out of a room that I was sure was not going to be good for me to stay in for a little while.
Right, wrong.
It was a room that it had a little sitting room outside the bedroom, and I just knew, and this is my mind playing tricks on me, I just knew that I would wake up at around 3 a.m. one night, and there'd be a guy sitting there looking at me with his hair parted in the middle, with a high collar, nothing menacing, but I just talked myself out of staying in the room.
You didn't want any visitors.
I didn't want any visitors to approve of.
And if you go to the Stanley, you can order a red rum, and I really suggest the smoked old fashioned. Now, going back and forth, I'm trying to think, Odd Couple 2 or House 2. Which one do you want to talk about? I'm scared.
Odd Couple 2 was throwing me a bone because I was up to play the daughter and I didn't get it, but I got to play with Jack Lemmon.
Right.
And just be a stewardess in a little airplane set, which is always fun. I'm drawn to those, obviously. And I just spent a whole day working with Jack Lemmon and telling him, you know how to figure out your porn name? It's your middle name plus your blah, 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 blah. And then he went around and asked everybody and then only called them their porn name. Marie. For like the rest of the shoot, it was fantastic. I loved him. House 2 was crazy. That was Bill Maher's second
I
movie.
think it's like a second. It's
Second
like
movie,
DC
but-
Cabin. or something.
Oh wait, then there's like Pizza Boy from
Caveman,
Mars or
did they do like
something.
a caveman?
Whatever it
Oh,
was.
sorry.
But anyway, no, I'm just saying he was fine. He was a little grouchy, and he had OCD, and he didn't like the makeup lady touching him, and because she was like sneezing, and then putting it in, and she's like, okay. And so I ended up doing his makeup for it,
Really?
and that's all I can say about him. I don't know what has happened to him in every way. I'm sure he's out there somewhere. But it was a great movie, and it was George Wendt was in the first one, and then
Ratzenberger's in the
worked
second
on that one.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
weird little movie.
It is a weird movie, absolutely, and it's one of those where I actually kind of prefer the sequel. Sorry, we're going off the
Oh,
rails.
thank you.
All right, we've got time for 2 more. Yes, you.
Hear me?
Yo, yeah, you do. You're up.
Appreciate it. First of all, I just want to thank you guys for being here. For those of you that haven't had a chance to meet them yet, I met them this morning. I can't express how nice they were and just how welcoming all 3 of you were. So
Did you get the check?
And they will be here all weekend long.
Can you wait a couple days to cash it? Thank you, sweetheart. That's very, very, well, we're having fun. This is the first thing we've done all together or been all together in a long time, so we are having fun and we are passing the savings on to you.
So my question is, obviously you guys have a pretty tremendous following from a wing standpoint. You guys have had numerous roles across different genres and all that good stuff. So where does Wings rank, and this is for all 3 of you, where does Wings rank among your favorite roles, your favorite series, shows, etc.? Thank you.
I'll go. It's interesting because if you had asked me that 20 years ago, it would have ranked lower than it does now.
Yeah, same.
Part of it was that, we were young actors and we wanted to be, Marlon Brando and Robert De Niro wanted to be edgy and do stuff like that. And we were doing this sitcom. And so it was really fun. We had a fantastic time doing it. But I won't speak for anyone else, but I wish that I had enjoyed it and sort of relished it and cherished it a little more when I was doing it. And I do now. Now I'm like, let's do a reboot. I want to go back to that.
Right.
I want to go back to those days because, I still contend that if you polled everyone on the planet about what their perfect job was and you put it into a computer, it would spit out sitcom actor.
Yeah.
It's the best job in the world, and I do miss it.
And I would just.
Give it up for Amy, Tim, and Steve. We appreciate them. Lexington, stop by the table. They're going to be here all weekend. I am now living my dream. Anybody get a picture of that? I just got a hug.
Oh, you can get more than that. Everybody turn around for a second.
Thank you. Tag me in some of these social media things.
I know.
There you go.